What if I told you that the best career opportunities come from companies that aren't even hiring yet? This is the third video in my networking series, and today I'm going to show you how to target your dream companies even when they have zero job postings. Now, most people, they wait for job ads to appear and then they're competing with hundreds or maybe even thousands of other applicants. But smart people, they get on the company's radar months before positions are even created. So by the time a role gets posted, you're already the person they're thinking of. And I've seen this work countless times. Clients who spend 3 to 6 months really building relationships with their target companies. And then when roles opened up, they were the obvious choice. Here's what people don't understand about how companies actually hire. When a hiring manager needs to fill a role, their first instinct isn't to post a job ad. Their first thought is, do I know anyone who could do this job? If they've been having conversations with someone for months, someone who's been engaging with their content, asking smart questions, showing genuine interest in their company and their role, well, then guess who comes to mind first? That person. And this is exactly what happened with one of my clients who wanted to work in a very specific tech startup. No job postings, and the company was only 50 people. So she spent around 4 months really building relationships with people there. And when they got their Series B funding and needed to expand their team, she was literally the first person the CEO thought of. But the thing is, with this particular method, it takes time. You have got to be willing to invest. So you really want to use it when there are specific companies that you really want to focus on. So this strategy isn't for everyone. Company targeting really works best if you're in one of these situations. You're currently employed and you can afford to play the long game. You're not desperate for any job. You're really waiting for the job. And you know exactly what companies excite you. Maybe it's their mission, their growth trajectory, their company culture. You're able to articulate why you want to work there beyond just they seem really cool. And also, you're willing to invest around 3 to 6 months building relationships because this is not a quick win strategy. But when it works, damn, it really works. And you skip the entire interview process because people already know and trust you. So, step one is research. And this is where most people are way too surface level. You can't just read their About Me page and think, okay, job done. Start with AI tools, and this is a game changer. Copy their entire LinkedIn company page, recent news articles, maybe their careers page, and feed it into ChatGPT or any other AI tool and ask it to summarize what's happening at this company right now. What are their growth challenges? What markets are they expanding into? What would be their biggest hiring priorities? You can also set up Google Alerts. This is a fantastic tool that many people just totally skip. Set up Google Alerts about that specific company. So whenever anything comes online, you're the first person to find out about it. Next, look at their recent hires on LinkedIn. Who have they been bringing in? What roles? What backgrounds? And this tells you way more about their priorities than any job posting will. And it's also really great to see the type of people they hire. Then research the leadership team and don't just look at the CEO. Look at department heads in your area of interest. What are they posting about? What challenges are they discussing? What groups are they part of? What industry trends are they commenting on? And here's the key. You want to understand their business so well that when you do eventually speak with someone there, you're not asking basic questions like, so what is the company's biggest challenge? Or why do you like working here? You're really asking sophisticated questions about their specific challenges and opportunities. You've got to go really deep when you have these conversations. So we need to identify who to connect with because you don't just want to target HR. They're overwhelmed and everyone contacts them. You want to target 3 different types of people. So you want to look at peers. So people are doing the same job that you want to do because they can give you insights into the actual tasks and responsibilities, the day-to-day work, the culture, and upcoming opportunities. Peers are great people just to actually network and brainstorm with and share insights with. Then you want to look at hiring managers, so directors, VPs, team leads in your target department, because these people are your potential managers. They're actually going to be the ones responsible for hiring. Then you want to look for people like I would call champions. So people who have been at the company for quite a while, they're really active on LinkedIn and they seem like connectors. So they know everyone and they often love helping other people. So for each company, aim to identify 8 to 10 people across these 3 categories. Don't connect with all of them at once because that looks a little bit strange. Plan to connect with 2 to 3 people per month over several months. Now, here's where company targeting differs from application-based networking, what I spoke about in a previous video. You're not going to connect immediately. You're going to build familiarity first. So follow the company page and key people. Set up Google Alerts for the company name and key executives. When they post content, engage thoughtfully. Not just great posts, really add value, really share your perspective, ask thoughtful questions related to industry trends that you're seeing. The goal is to become a recognizable name in their comments. You almost want to be seen as a fan of their company and what they're posting. And after 2 or 3 weeks of engaging with someone's content, then you send them a connection request because then it feels natural. You might say like, hey, Sarah, I've been following your insights on product development or trends, and your perspective is really interesting. I would love to connect. It's no longer weird. You've been following this person. You've been commenting with them. It's a very natural next step to then send them a connection request. When they do accept your connection request, do not pitch them. That is not what this is about. This is long-term relationship building, not selling on day one. So when they accept your connection request, continue the conversation about topics that you really care about. Ask about industry trends, their thoughts on company developments, their insights about the market. And remember, you're an expert because you've done so much research. You can actually ask really smart questions, not just, what do you like most about working in this company? Because you've taken the time to do the research, you're now able to ask those really amazing questions. And the key mindset shift here, you're not trying to get something from them. You are genuinely building a professional relationship with someone whose work actually interests you. Now, this is what we call the conversation strategy. After a few message exchanges, suggest a brief call. But here's the crucial point. Don't position it as, can you tell me about opportunities at your company? Instead, position it as industry research. So you've already had a bit of an exchange. It's natural to then take this into the next phase of the relationship building. So you can say to them, I've really enjoyed gaining all of these insights from you, and I'm really gaining knowledge on the fintech space or whatever space it is. I've really enjoyed our conversation so far. I'd love the opportunity to take this offline and actually have a conversation with you where we can have a little bit more back and forth. Would you be open for a 20-minute conversation so we can continue this offline? During these calls, spend 80% of the time asking about their experience. Make it all about them, the industry, the challenges they're facing. And then you want to keep about 20% back where you can talk about yourself. And this is where you really position yourself as someone of value. So when you do talk about your background, frame it in terms of how it's given you perspective on the same challenges they're discussing. And at the end, you can mention, I have to say, everything you've told me about company reinforces why it's exactly the type of organization I would love to contribute to. I'm not actively looking to move right now, but honestly, if an amazing opportunity came up, I would really love to stay in touch. Notice the positioning. You're not desperate. You're not discerning. You're not saying, I'm really actively looking. Can you help me? You're not asking them to find you a job. You're actually just expressing interest in staying connected. And if you have had a wonderful exchange online and you've been asking smart questions, and if in the conversation that continued, why wouldn't they want you at their organization? Why wouldn't they want a smart and driven person who is obviously very motivated to join a particular company? Why wouldn't they want you? And that's why it's all about the long game. Here's what happens when you do this well. You've had conversations with 6 to 8 people at your target company over 4 or 5 months. You understand their challenges. You've shared valuable insights. You're known as someone who gets their business. When a relevant role opens up, and they always do, companies are constantly evolving, multiple people will think of you. The hiring manager mentions to their team, we need to hire someone for this role. And someone says, actually, I know someone perfect. I've been speaking with this individual. I think they could be a great fit for this role. You're no longer competing with 200 online applicants. You're the person they were hoping would be interested. I've seen people skip entire interview processes this way. So, as always, let's just go over a few mistakes that can kill this strategy, and I don't want that to happen to you. Number one, don't be impatient. This is not about the quick win. This is really about building long-term relationships. As I say, if you need a job tomorrow, this probably is not the strategy for you. But if you are really focused on specific companies, you really know what you want, you're only going to move for the right role, this is the strategy for you. It really works. But of course, you're hedging your bets because you're building relationships at companies and you don't know exactly when a role will open up. So you've got to play the long game. Two, don't be generic. Your research really needs to be deep enough that you can have informed conversations about their specific business challenges. If you really want to wow them and have them think of you, you've got to be really researching the company. And if you can't be bothered to research the company, then again, this probably isn't the strategy for you. You should only be using the strategy if you're genuinely really interested in that particular organization. And three, don't be passive. Engaging with content isn't enough. You actually need to build those conversations and create real relationships. So, my homework for you, I would love for you to pick one company that genuinely excites you. Spend this week doing deep research using AI tools, mapping out 8 to 10 people you want to connect with over the next 6 months. Set up Google Alerts as well. Next week, I'm covering the message templates that actually get responses. So the exact words to use when reaching out to strangers on LinkedIn. So if you're ready to stop competing with hundreds of applicants and actually start having opportunities created for you, subscribe and let me know in the comments which company you're targeting first.